My mom just said she never wants to see me again. My mom and I have had a complex dynamic, to say the least. She never wanted to have kids, yet she has 5, which sends a confusing message. She often blames my father for having so many children and has told me many times that we ruined her life and that she hoped I wouldn't have kids, either. When I was 14, she revealed to me that my father raped her, which resulted in her pregnancy. She said she felt she had to marry him, claiming that all of us were products of that trauma. She chose to share this with me at dinner, a moment I will never forget. The plot twist? It's not true. At the time, I believed her and felt I had to be there for her. I also felt terrible for even existing. There's a lot more I could say, but most of it revolves around emotional and physical neglect, abandonment, and the like. I wouldn't say I had a bad childhood per se. Others have gone through much worse. I'm not trying to complain, just providing context. Fast forward many years, I'm an aunt, a cool aunt, and a mother. My kids and my nieces are absolutely amazing. They changed everything for me. It was during this time that I began to have some realizations. A lot has happened since then, and this is already long, so I won't cover it all. However, things really went off the rails about 2 or 3 years ago. I yelled at her for being a terrible grandma. She never called my kids or my nieces on their birthdays and didn't even know their birthdays. While I called her every week like a dutiful daughter, I eventually reached my breaking point. She had never visited any of her grandkids. Ever. My nieces are in their 20s, so it's not like she didn't have time. She travels for vacations, so it's not even a fear of travel. When I yelled at my mom, I may have called her an evil witch, I can't remember, but it felt good. My kids had often wondered why their grandma didn't talk to them, and I was angry that she made them question their worth. At this point, I felt done, but I tend to be super forgiving. Additionally, my dad passed away shortly after my oldest was born, and I still miss him every day. I know he would have wanted me to try to fix things, so I called her on her birthday. She didn't call me on mine, or on Christmas, or on my kids' birthdays, but I called her on Mother's Day. I told her that I loved her and that we wanted to come visit. The boys miss her. She mentioned that my brother doesn't talk to her anymore, and I know my sister rarely does. I felt sad for her. We hung up after she said she loved me, and I felt a glimmer of hope that we could find some peace and maybe even forgiveness. Just a gentle reminder. I'm an optimistic fool. Today she called while I was at work, and I left a meeting because I was worried something was wrong. Instead, she said, I know you're at work and I have to bother you, but I never want to see you ever again. You live so far away, it's a 6-hour drive, which isn't far. I mumbled. She said she doesn't like that I'm always mad at her and that she worked for 50 years. I mumbled that all of us have to work for most of our lives and she just didn't care. She never wants to visit anyone, her back hurts, and she doesn't want to see me. If I just show up at her house, she said she would call her lawyer. At this point, I was stunned. I stumbled into an empty meeting room, letting her finish, but I actually ended up hanging up on her before the call ended. I cried. I've been crying since. Now, I keep wondering, did I do this? Did I mess it up? How can someone's own mother not love them? The love we all should be able to count on is our mother's love, right? My self-worth has plummeted because of her, and I'm upset that I'm sad. I'm troubled that I didn't say, why would I ever just show up at your house? Have I ever done anything like that in my life? And let's not pretend you have a lawyer on speed dial. You couldn't even call the cable company. I had to do that for you. Plus, what a crazy thing to say, and why would you call during the workday? I shouldn't be surprised by the timing since she often tells me awful things at the worst moments and usually in public. I'm terrified I'll end up like her. I don't understand it, and deep down, I fear it's me. Is there something so fundamentally unlovable about me that even my own mother can't love me? Logically, I know it's not me. She is a troubled soul. But it's hard for my heart to embrace that. I struggle with it because of how much I love my kids. Wow, that was long. If anyone made it through my ramblings, I owe you a coffee, tea, or wine. I don't know anyone who has a parent like hers, and it sucks. As much as I don't like her, it still cuts so deep.